Hey everyone, it's Amanda, Pineal Painting, Sarasota, Florida. Guys, how you doing? First video of the year for me. Took a little bit of a break from doing any videos. I've been pretty busy. Also started, just taking care of all the first of the year things that you need to do when you're running a business. Anyway, so I'm here, I'm doing some more thermofoil removals. You can see here that it's like a cream color. I don't know. So with this set, I don't even really need a heat gun. It's just coming right off. So I'm just gonna peel this off. Got a couple tips for you today. Just wanted to let you know that if you are getting new hardware and you are planning on filling the holes, just go ahead and go right to the glazing putty. Get some Bondo. It's going to be the best. Don't waste your time on any of the other stuff. It doesn't dry as hard. It doesn't dry as fast. And I've noticed that when I used it before, that drilling new holes close to the existing filled hole can be a challenge. So go right to the Bondo. Get the Bondo, fill the holes, drill new holes when you install the hardware. So another thing I was trying out is, so I usually always use Denature alcohol because it's the go-to. It's really good stuff. Takes the sheen off, cleans up all the glue residue. But I know that in some states you can't buy it. Basically, it's unavailable. So what I've done is I've tried this paint Deglosser pre-cleaner. So I bought this at Sherwin-Williams, but I'm pretty sure you can get it at Lowe's. Anyway, this seems to work really good. I really like it. I actually think I might like it a little bit better than I like the Denature, just because it's less harsh. The fumes don't smell as bad. So what I do is I really soak the rag with it, the paint Deglosser, soak it really good after I pull that thermofoil off, and I want to just clean this really good, like really, really good. Especially the edges. The edges are so important. Guys, when you're painting the cabinet doors, some people have asked me, do I have to paint the back side too? Or, because basically you have the medium density fiberboard on the front side, and then on the reverse side, the interior side of your doors, it's basically just the Formica backing. So basically it's a little bit of a different process. I still clean the Formica side really good, but I don't really sand the thermofoil side as well as I do the reverse side, just because this is already really porous. And basically I just want to get it really clean so that the primer will bond to the fiberboard. Because once the primer has bonded to the fiberboard, then I'm able to, first of all, the primer will build up in some of the low areas where you're going to get nicks. Sometimes, like, I don't know if you can see it in the camera here, but there's a line extending across. So basically that is a result of the glue residue, or the way that they actually adhered the thermofoil to the door. But you can get a lot of like chipping on the sides, the edges. There can be a lot of little imperfections. It's not going to always be super slick and smooth, and I've seen them really rough and I've seen them not too bad. This isn't too bad at all. So what I do is I don't worry about that. I do not worry about that until I am able to bond the primer to the fiberboard. Once I bond the primer, then I have some buildup basically it will build up those highs and lows, and it will flush it out, so to speak, so that you can sand it afterward and get like a nice flush. You can feel the doors, and you know, I haven't noticed it be necessary to do 2 coats of primer. But if you have like a really picky project, and you want it to, you know, you have some really badly damaged doors, which I haven't really come across that bad before, but if you do, you could always apply a second coat of bonding primer, or you could apply a second coat of a build-up primer. There's primers that are specially designed to give you build-up in the low areas. That will allow you to sand it down and get a nice smooth surface. So you want it to be as smooth as possible. Even though you're not dealing with real wood, you still want it to look, what you're going for is, we call it a factory-like finish, because obviously I don't have a factory. I'm spraying in my spray booth, so it's not going to come out like it came out of a factory, but it's going to be like factory-like, because it's going to have a really nice fine finish. So I don't, honestly, with these fiberboard, with the thermofoil projects, I typically don't even, I don't go too crazy with them, honestly, because basically you are dealing with fiberboard. So there's not a whole lot you can really, it's pretty durable, pretty strong, tough stuff. You can work with it, but you just don't want to overwork it. And basically, people tend to understand the fact that they don't have real wood cabinets, and that there may be some imperfections there that you're not, typically able to, you're not going to be able to hide. I mean, obviously you could, depending on how much time and effort you really want to put into the project. You could literally, go through and spot, bond or fill every single little nick and, hole and everything if you wanted to. I don't do that typically, because I figure by the time I do that, I might as well just glaze the whole surface, because once you do one spot here, you'll say, oh, now this right here, and then this, and then that, and then, so I don't go too crazy with them. I clean them up really well, prime them, and then after I put the bonding primer on them, that's when I go a little bit crazy with the prepping, because literally what I've noticed is, once you put the bonding primer on the doors, if the bonding primer is not adhering properly, or maybe there was a spot that got missed when you were doing the prep, and there might have been like, oh, a greasy fingerprint here on the back, or something, whatever, that's when you will be able to know that your prep work has failed in that area, because as soon as you take the sandpaper to your primer, it's going to come right off. And so that's a good way to test your primer, to know and to feel good when you put that finish coat on, knowing that your primer is all the way bonded on. Because a lot of times what will happen to me is in the high, the areas that get touched a lot now the good thing about the thermofoil is, once you pull that thermofoil off, most of the grime and stuff is gone. But you may still have some residue, or maybe something sticky was on it, and then you primed it, and then you let it dry, and then you get your sandpaper and you start to sand, and you notice that, oh, the primer just came right off, which tends to happen sometimes. Like I say, in the areas that are touched a lot, around the handles, things like that, where that there might, that's actually the spot where I over prep, or really make sure, because honestly, you want to keep that to a minimal, because once you spray the primer on, you don't really want to have to go back to the, your step one. So basically what I do is just, I will sand it until the primer, you know, comes off. Then I realize, okay, I need to clean this up a little bit better. I will use some more deglosser, clean it up a little bit. And then I can always, you know, reprime it, and I can always just hit it with a brush right in that spot if I want to make sure everything's primed. So people have asked, do I have to paint all, you know, do I have to paint all of the sides of the cabinets just because, like, the back looks so great? And, you know, so I think I'll only paint the front. Well, I mean, you know, technically you can paint or not paint whatever you want, but I do recommend that if you're going to do it, to do the whole front and back, because what you're going to do is you're going to leave edges. You're not going to have full, complete coverage, which may cause the paint in the long run to chip and start to peel back on those edges. If you go ahead and you paint a solid coat all the way around, all four sides, front and back, then you know that that's a durable product and that's going to last. And plus, who wants to open up their cabinets and then have a whole completely different color on the inside? I don't know. I've never seen it. I've never attempted to do it that way before. I wouldn't recommend it. Also, I spray the doors, so I don't even know how I would spray them without getting it on the back, really. That would be a whole lot of more work for me. So I recommend just spray all four sides. And, you know, what I've noticed lately is I don't even, when I'm taking the doors off, like I've already started some Bondo here, and then afterward I realized that I asked again and I said, you know, you know, if you get the same size handle pulls, then that will eliminate the whole, you know, Bondo process and the filling and the, you know, drilling of the new holes and everything. And she said, oh yeah, that's what we were going to do anyway. So I was like, awesome, great. So anyway, I don't have to fill these anymore, but I started to anyway. So what I do now is I used to take the doors off and then put the label there, you know, where the door goes. And then I would automatically just put a piece of tape over that. But then I noticed, like, I would get back to the shop and I'm trying to work with the doors, and I need to know if it faces up this way or if it faces up this way. You know, is this the top or is this the top? So then I have to sit there and try to pick my tape off so I can see what my marking is. So I don't even do that anymore. I hold off until until literally when I drill the holes. So as soon as I drill the holes to hang my cabinet doors, that's when I'll go ahead and I'll put the tape in there and cover my label, because yeah, I'm starting to, like, eliminate, like, you know, kind of move some steps further in the process, because I'm starting to realize that I'm doing that step a little bit early. Anyway, well, I appreciate you know, watching. I hope that I'm helping you guys. I'm trying to answer everybody's questions. A lot of people want to know about Thermofoil. It's a big thing. People can't even believe that they still sell and install that stuff, but yes, they do. And yeah, so, you know, if you're trying to, if you want to do it yourself, I've got other videos. If you want to know how to pull the Thermofoil off, if you want to know how to take the cabinet doors off, if you want to see, you know, a time lapse putting it back together, or how I prep the doors, how I hang the doors, you know, there's quite a few videos now, and I'm trying to make more to answer the questions so that hopefully you guys can just kind of go in there and find the answers that you're looking for. So hopefully I'm being helpful in that aspect. And yeah, I'm having a great year already so far, and I hope everybody else is. You know, pretty much living through the apocalypse or whatever right now. So well, we're making the best of it. So just yeah, working hard, and I got so many more projects coming up. It's only 1st of February today. So, I mean, I'm already booked out into April, and I've got a couple other projects that I need to go back and check on, and one that I'm kind of like currently still trying to mess with. So there's going to be a lot of things to show you guys, and a lot of new crazy places I'm probably going to end up this year, because when you're a painter, you never know where you're going to end up at, and you never know who you're going to meet. I actually meet a lot. I've met quite a few. I've met my fair share of corporate business owners, so to speak, people that you would probably not, I'm not going to name drop anybody, but people that you would probably know who they are. And I've been to some crazy places and met some really awesome people. Like every time, it seems like I would say, oh my gosh, 1 out of probably 15 people, I mean, is, not my favorite. I would say the whole other rest of everybody that I meet is just so amazing, and I make friends left and right everywhere I go. So yeah, it's going to be a journey. I'd like to actually show like how I keep track of how I organize my jobs and keep all my jobs together. So I might do some of that this year, just to try to help people out who are possibly trying to start their own painting business and don't really know what to do. I'm not an expert. I'm learning as I go. I get tips and I get help from people along the way, really awesome people, smart people who have owned their own businesses and things in the past. So if I can pass on any knowledge to you guys, and if you have any questions, if I can answer them for you, I will. Pretty much it's basically just my opinion and what I've heard and what I've learned, and maybe just how I do it. So don't take everything I say literally, and do your own research. Always, check. Don't just believe what I say. Do a little work, and you'll find your answer. So anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to this year just being way better. Last year was amazing, so I don't know how it could get any better, but it always does. So, all right, guys. Well, I'm trying out a little editing here too, so I'm gonna dabble a little bit. I got a program, and I thought, well, let me try to make it a little bit better, just so I can, like, when I do some instructional videos, I can actually add some things in there and break it down, and maybe it'll be helpful for putting, instead of having to do like 2 or 3 separate videos on one subject, I can put them all together into one video for you guys, so you don't have to try to find, the second half of that video or whatever. So I'm gonna try to make it a little bit better, with the limited time that I have to do this kind of stuff, because it takes a lot to set the camera up, figure out what you're going to say, somewhat, and you got to have the lighting, and it never cooperates, and if you're outside, you got so much noise. So yeah, just bear with me, guys. But it's just all fun. I'm just having fun with it, and I'm not some big, I didn't go to college for marketing and all this stuff. So yeah, I'm just real. I'm just a painter. Just doing what I love. So I wish everybody would do what they love to do. And you know what? This year, this is it. Don't let anything hold you back. If you want to do something, go do it. Do it all. I'm doing it all this year. Everything I want to do, I'm going to do it. I'm doing it all. So I got so many goals, and a couple of them are pretty big goals, and I've been saving for quite a while. So I'm pretty excited. I'm going to get ready to make some really big changes here, and hopefully it'll be better, so I can maybe have more of a more of a shop, more of a kind of, I don't know, studio space. I wouldn't even call it studio space. I would just say somewhere more better equipped to kind of like do videos. And yeah, so there's a lot of things in the works, and I'll do some more thermofoil videos.